All right, I want to thank you all for joining this afternoon for our IT Help Desk demonstration for our SharePoint as well as Office 365 based solution. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. We have, as you logged in, there is a control panel, and we're hoping that you will engage with us a little bit in using that control panel using the questions option. So on that right-hand side, if you kind of drop down a little bit, you'll see there's questions, and so that's a place in which you can submit questions, and then we will try to answer those, and we'll actually look at those, monitor those as we go along, and try to answer some of those sort of in session, and some we might hold off until our Q&A section towards the end. But if you cannot, for some reason, cannot hear us, or there's some challenge with the audio, go ahead and throw that up. There's a chat option as well. You can throw that up in chat and let us know if you're having some difficulties. So what we're going to do, let's go ahead and get started now. Now this webinar on IT Help Desk is going to be focused on that. So you come to see our product, you come to see our help desk, so we're going to show you that today. We're also just kind of as a heads up, when this webinar is complete, we'll have a recording as well as a copy of this deck we'll make available to you after. So we'll send you a follow-up email, and in that email you'll have a link to the video. Also, feel free to contact, and we're going to kind of hit this high level today. We'll show you sort of features and functionality of the desk, but also the framework on which it's been built in SharePoint and Office 365. But we encourage you to follow up by phone or by email to contact us for a more sort of in-depth demo. At your convenience. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll go to the first slide, and this is what we're going to cover today. So as an agenda itself, we're going to talk about Crow Canyon, who we are in the marketplace. We'll also show you kind of a slide of what we're going to show you today. We'll cover the IT Help Desk, and we'll iterate this a couple times throughout this, but that we do have the on-premises SharePoint version as well as Office 365. We'll get into the demo, and at the end, we'll hold off some time for questions and answers. Now, let's go ahead and give you a little bit of background on Crow Canyon. Crow Canyon, we've been around for almost 20 years. We've always developed solutions on the Microsoft stack. Upon the release of SharePoint, we kind of focused all of our attention to the SharePoint platform as our primary development platform. We have today almost 6,000 installations globally. We've done a lot of custom development for our clients as well. Some of those have been based on sort of enhancements of our out-of-the-box solutions as well as one-off. So let's go on to the next slide here. As we get to the next slide, what we want to do is let you know that we do have a help desk, but that's not the only product that we offer. We have a number of sort of out-of-the-box solutions that we have built and configured that can be installed very quickly. So there's the help desk, there's the extension of the help desk with asset management. We'll talk about that a little bit today. Customer support, facilities management, equipment tracking. There's a number of different of solutions that we built on a common framework, and we offer those as all sort of out-of-the-box products. Also, custom development. Well, we encourage you, if you have anything that's sort of in the pipe for things that you want to do on SharePoint Office 365, to reach out to us. We have lots of experience in developing all kinds of different solutions based on business requirements, and you can see some. I won't read them all, but you'll get access to this deck. But there's a number of. This is just a very short list of different types of custom development solutions that we created for our clients. Now, one of the things that we want to do is just kind of talk about. What are we going to cover today? Sort of first and foremost, we want to address this, how do I choose the right help desk? And we'll get into that in a little bit more detail. But also, why SharePoint and Office 365 to run this type of application? We'll talk about the flexibility of our solution, and then we'll jump right into the demo. Now, in the marketplace today, this graph, what we wanted to kind of illustrate here is that the number of solutions that have been introduced to the market, you can see has increased significantly over the course of even the last 15 years. When there were some primary players in the marketplace back in 2000 to now becoming a fairly saturated market with lots of choices. And so that can be confusing when trying to sort of lock into a solution that's going to be the best fit for your organization. Now, this is just again a short list of the market itself, and you can see how saturated it is. And we could have built this out to be much uglier than it looks right now in terms of all the logos, all the solutions that exist in the marketplace. And so what we find is when someone contacts us, they are looking at a number of different solutions that are non-SharePoint, but then also they have some preference, something that they're trying to accomplish with their investment in SharePoint or Office 365. So there's the question of why SharePoint or Office 365 comes down to a few things. One is there's an investment that's already been made in SharePoint, and again, that's whether that's on premises or in the Office 365 environment. There's some investment, there's some framework and platform that's there already, and most of our clients come to us and say, well, we'd really love to take advantage of that solution and put it all sort of in one centralized location. And they find it difficult as they're looking out to other solutions that there's not an integrated or some easy path to be able to connect the two. Now, also this concept of Active Directory integration, you have all your users that are there's a lot of sort of benefits to that in terms of assignments and or people working in the system or somebody submitting requests. There's this single sign-on, and then from there, the environment itself lends itself to be highly flexible. And so that we don't shut off any of the standard SharePoint or Office 365 features. They're all there. Your ability to do everything that's there that exists, you'll continue to have that capability. But also we give some other configuration capabilities through our solutions. We have a number of administrative capabilities that allow you to tweak and customize and change the solution to fit your specific needs. Also, reporting. One of the top 5 challenges that a lot of our customers have when they come to us initially is the fact that very limited reporting. They might have some good reports, but they're canned reports that are provided to them in some dashboard, and they, many times they need to report on additional data, and they have to export that and use some other reporting tool to be able to generate those. And so reporting, being very flexible. Branding, also because it's SharePoint Office 365 and can become a very integral part of an intranet, the branding also becomes important, is to make this look and feel like it's an internal solution with the corporate branding. And also portals. The use of portals is another sort of giant benefit in the fact of user adoption itself. How do we get users to use the system rather than sending emails and making phone calls or walk-ins? And it's about intuitive and well-designed portals that are going to help accomplish that. So as we talk a little bit about our solution today, and we're going to walk through and point out a couple things in the demo, is the fact that what Crow Canyon has done is we have built a layer that we call Nitro, which is a framework of solutions that allows us to create the various solutions or applications that I mentioned earlier on. The help desk itself is based on the same framework. Our asset management solution is based on the same work, and the framework itself is the 3 components, or sort of three sort of pillars would be UI UX and creating forms and portals and making things look cool. There's the workflow and process of how do you want the system to act and how do you drive automation, and then the reporting and analytics, leveraging our BI or reporting engine to be able to drive data that's actionable. And what that really means is what is UI UX? UI UX is anything from the form's design. There's within the form itself, what do you want the fields and columns to be dynamic based on previous selections. The portals, employee portal, customer portal, internal type portals, workspaces are configurable based on roles and branding, etc. And then the workflow and processes, what that really means is any type of workflow or sort of process assigned, you can embed into the solution using our workflow manager. And that could be from anything from assignment or routing, alerts, things like creating auto-generating tasks based on some ticket type, service level agreements, setting those up on based on service levels that you're going to have internally and sort of push out to your clients or customers, your internal customers or requesters. And then on the reporting side is this report center that we have allows you to build custom dashboards, and those dashboards can be based on role. If you have a manager or somebody else that needs to see some information or some data, you can create those dashboards. We have this tiles and dials. You'll see it in our program. And then data integration with other back-end systems that we can pull data in. We can report on that. And then also the use of Power BI. And so we can kind of enhance what we have with reporting and couple that with Power BI to get some very robust reporting capabilities. Now, what we want to do here is not sort of overwhelm you with the sort of framework that we have that we leverage to build these solutions, but we did want to introduce that to you because we've done a lot of work and invested a lot of time and energy in building this framework that allows us to build these robust enterprise-level solutions in the SharePoint and Office 365 environments. And so today I'm going to introduce you to Scott Restivo. So Scott Restivo is our CEO, and he's had extensive experience over the last 20 years in building applications, kind of initially as our sort of head engineer, and then now over the course of time has become our resident SharePoint expert. And so he will go through the demo with you and show you not only the features and functionality that you're looking for in a help desk, but also the flexibility, leveraging the Nitro framework, and in getting the additional things that you might want to look at in an application, from the UI to the workflow to reporting. So go ahead and turn that over to Scott. Scott, take it from here.
Hello, thanks Jeff. Thanks for the introduction to this webinar. I think the first thing we'll do is launch a poll. It's called what version of SharePoint or Office 365 you're using. So that should be up in progress right now, and thank you for your answers. We'll give it another minute or two. Well, probably not a minute, but at least 30 seconds to see what what people are using, and that will help us guide the demo and guide what to present here.
Now, also jumping in here, right? I went a little bit fast through the crowded market slides, and so in just a little bit too, we'll go ahead and present another poll. We really are interested in what you guys are using today, so we'll throw that up. That might seem sort of a little bit out of order, but because I passed over it so quickly, we'll throw that up there as well, and that will give us some understanding of not only what version of SharePoint you're using, but also what you guys have in place today.
Okay, well, that's right, Jeff. We'll end this poll and share the results. And you can see it's pretty much what we've been seeing all along, that there's sort of equal between Office 365 and SharePoint 2013. Some people are going into 2016. Some people are using 2010. So it seems this is fairly common to what we find when we do these webinars. And thank you for your answers. I think the next thing we'll do is go into the other poll, and then that'll be the last of the polls, and we'll get right into the demo after that. This one is what do you currently use for IT Help Desk? And thank you again for your answers. Okay, I think that's good. We'll close that poll and show the results. And you can see that a lot of people are using emails. That's where a system like ours will come in very, very handy and a really nice replacement to emails or spreadsheets. And the other software, we'll have to get more specific, I guess, in next polls to see what that other software is. It probably is a on-premises type solution. Okay, let's go back to the demo and start there. Okay, Jeff, do you see my screen, the help desk interface right there? Are we on that there, Jeff?
Yes, I do.
Okay, good. So I'll go from there. Okay, hello everyone. We're going to show you the SharePoint IT Help Desk. This is on premises, but we also have it in Office 365 due to it being a webinar where we can only go pretty much into one platform or the other. We'll focus on the on-premises. It's SharePoint 2013 on-premises, but we have the same thing in Office 365 in very, very similar functionality. Here we are looking at SharePoint 2013. I'm going to look now at at Office 365, SharePoint in Office 365. You can see that's very similar look and feel, very similar functionality, very similar design. So I'll back to SharePoint 2013 and switch back to Office 365. You can see a lot of similarities there. But we'll focus on the SharePoint 2013 world. Now, the question that a lot of people ask right off the bat when we're doing help desks especially, or any kind of request management system, is how is a ticket created and how does it flow through the process? Well, the ticket creation is part of the UI UX that Jeff was referring to earlier, one of the 3 areas of application design that we focus on. So UI UX is very important because we want user engagement and user adoption. So coming right to SharePoint directly may not be what people want to do. It's certainly a possibility. They can come in and open up a new ticket directly in SharePoint if they want, if you want to have that work that way. Let's see, where is it? There it is, new ticket. They can enter in a new ticket with our tab form, put it in, submit it to the help desk and have it be processed that way. Another way they can enter in a ticket is through email, but we also have this employee portal that is used by employees to submit, view tickets. Now this is getting into intranet world where we can mesh it with intranet, or they can use this intranet, this kind of portal intranet type interface as the main point of entry into this help desk system, whether on SharePoint or Office 365. All this is very configurable as to the colors, the wording, the logo, of course, what's here. And they can submit ticket through this, they can view their tickets, search the knowledge base, they see notifications, have some policy and procedures, or other links over here, and create different kinds of tickets rather than just always be an incident. It could be a request type ticket coming in here. This is highly configurable with our portal settings, and that's not something I'll delve into now, but behind the scenes here is a utility that is setting all this look and feel according to your what you want to have show here in many, many different aspects as far as color, as far as what forms, as far as what information is presented here. So if we look at submitting a new ticket this way, we'll see it's more incident related, and we have an incident related ticket here that shows who the requester is, and problem details, description, and all this can be modified if you want it to look different colors or no picture and things like that. And then I want to point out here that we can also have a different form entirely for a different kind of request here, requester event. That this is detailed, so it's not an incident, this is a request. So we can modify these forms to be specific to the type of request that's being submitted, so the person will have the capability to submit different kinds of requests, and these can go to different lists and different departments if needed. So we're trying here to make a very engaging interface, consumer-like interface, a digital workplace you could call it, sort of an intranet for them to enter in their information. And one of the ideas of this, one of the functionality behind the scenes is that when they do view my tickets, they are viewing only their tickets. They do not actually have access to the back end. This provides a security layer between this portal and the system in the back end, so that if there is confidential or proprietary information going on the back end list, they don't have access to it. Only thing they have access to is their tickets that they can see listed here, their ticket being the requester. You could also make, my tickets could also refer to the tickets that are assigned to me, or tickets that are created by me, or the tickets where I'm requester. Those variables can be set, but the idea is that you're restricting this to a certain view, that in this interface, and they can look at different ways: open tickets, assigned tickets, closed tickets. So this is an interesting way to present the information and engage the employees. As I said earlier, they can also send an email, and if you did want them to come directly to the interface on the back end, they can certainly do that and create a ticket directly that way. So in the new ticket that comes in, whether from that portal or here, the person can enter a variety of information. All these fields here are completely customizable with our back end. No code, 100% no code. With the admin of it, can go into our application administration, modify this form, put different tabs up here, different fields on the tabs, We have cascaded lookups where if you choose a different category, different types will show up. So this is very, very flexible, and all these lists are completely flexible as far as what you want to put in there. So it's highly customizable and configurable with ease, with no coding, with the back-end utilities to be gathering the information you want. We also can make these tabs specific to certain permissions, specific to certain users, meaning that some people only see this tab and other people see all the tabs. There's also dynamic forms in that certain tabs will cause other tabs to show up or not show, or other fields to show or not show. So quite a bit of interesting interactivity in the UI UX realm, where we're engaging the users and engaging or it could be customers from the outside who are submitting tickets through email, through portals, whatever, so that they have quite a good experience in interacting with the system. Well, that's one part of the UI UX. Now, when a ticket comes in, what happens next, and now we're getting into the workflows and business processes section of things, which is where the second portion of that application design that Jeff referred to as UI UX is the first, workflows and business process is the second, and reporting is the third. Well, the workflows and business processes are really the heart of the application, because what happens is the ticket comes in and it can take a variety of different courses depending on what the ticket, what constitutes in the ticket, what category it is, who's doing it, who submitted it, and all the other factors that are involved in the ticket. It could be by priority. So when a ticket comes in, we can set with our workflow manager, well, I really should say you can set in the configuration utility in our workflow manager, in our alerting tools, and all the back-end workflow and processing tools, you can set up a new ticket or request. It can have auto reply, it can notify certain people, it can automatically assign, it can set a due date, it can create other items. It can go through automation based on certain conditions in the ticket. And the idea here is that we are trying to make your job easier by automating processes, by having certain things happen automatically according to rules that you set up. And let me show you one example of that is the workflow manager, which is here. So this is one example of the workflow manager in our system, where you can set up a variety of different workflows based on different conditions and the type, whether an item's added, deleted, or was it based on a timer, and what list it's affecting, and all many different factors are going on here in order to control what happens when a ticket is first created, when it's assigned, when something happens such as due date gets closed or due date is passed, what other actions can happen when that happens. So for instance, if a ticket goes overdue, you might want to escalate it by changing the priority or reassigning it to somebody, notifying certain people. There's many things you can do with that workflow manager to automate processes that are very specific to what you need to have done. So it's quite a useful tool that can be done in many different ways. So here we go with a ticket that's been submitted. This is a ticket that was submitted. I opened it up and viewing it, and it says it's a printer error. There's a screenshot embedded in it, and now we can see that there's various information, hardware problem, printer. It's related to other items. There's associated tasks. Maybe they have to add memory to the printer. It's related to this particular asset right here. There could be a problem that's underlying this, like maybe there's multiple tickets associated with this one printer, and you want to identify the problem with the printer and then fix it, and then maybe institute a change request in order to change out that printer for a new asset. What's interesting is that you can also look at the asset itself and then find out that how many other tickets has it had, how many other issues, how many other problems, and when they occurred, and what was the resolution. At the same time, we have a lot of actions. These are custom actions we can create in our system, or you can create and put up, and they show up on the ribbon where there's assignment, change. You can create a change request, you can print it, send an email back to the user, that kind of thing. So this is part of the workflows and business process section of it. You have the ticket come in. There's been some initial processing with workflows when it was created. It maybe was automatically assigned or maybe manually assigned. It could be assigned to a team, and then the team takes it, and the first person in the team becomes assigned to that person. There could be subtasks related to it. It could be related to different an asset here. So a lot of ways to give quicker resolution and better service is the goal here with these workflows and processes. How to make it easy to answer it, get access to information, communicate with the user, and have this quick resolution or speedy resolution as much as possible with these tickets. I mean, some obviously are going to take longer than others, but at least you have a way of managing that. Now, if you're using emails or spreadsheets, obviously that's going to be a problem, because once the email goes, to manage, if you're using emails to manage your help desk, once it goes below your horizon or there's multiple emails related to the same issue, there's no way to keep them into one unified model, unified ticket. So this keeps everything unified, and everyone can know the visibility, accountability, the full life cycle tracking of these tickets. Now, we also have email history. There's only one email for this, so any email that comes in, this one came in, and it created this, the person sent in an email because they had a printer problem. They didn't use the portal. They didn't go to SharePoint. They decided to send in an email. Then if I were to send back an email through our email system, that would also be recorded here. So all email interaction with the user is recorded in the email history. So the very comprehensive view of all activity related to that problem or that request that comes in. Who's working on it? What's the status? What work was done? Does it need to be escalated? At the same time, there are a number of things working in the background that, let me get back to that list here, things working in the background to automate the process. So if it is approaching the due date, it can be escalated. If there is some change in the ticket, you can generate an alert. When you're looking at the list view, you can see here's the printer error. It's on high priority. It's color-coded red because that's what, yellow, because that's what we designated in our color indicator field to show up this way, and you can see it's related to this printer here. So all this is meant to ease the work and make it apparent what needs to be worked on, who's working on it, what's the status, what's the priority, while at the same time there's these functions and processes working in the background, such as are you meeting your service level agreements, or is it subtask related, are we waiting for approvals on some of these hardware requests. And a lot of our other systems, such as security access requests and things like that, rely a lot on approvals. Sometimes the IT help desk does, because it's relying on, you're requesting a new piece of hardware, so you need it to be approved by your manager. So that approvals come in place here, but a lot of them are incidents that are just break fix, and you want to fix that printer, get the person working again, and that's what is very important here to get done. Now, if there are a series of problems, a series of incidents, sorry, you can identify an underlying problem. That underlying problem then has to find some resolution, replace the printer perhaps, or it could be a hardware problem, it could be people need training, that's definitely often the case, or it could be that a procedure is not quite spelled out correctly, or it's inefficient. So you want to identify what that problem is, and then perhaps institute a change request in order to make that change that's going to fix the underlying problem, in order to prevent incidents, the same kind of incidents occurring over and over again. This is the basic of ITIL kind of framework. We're not going to declare that we're 100% ITIL compliant to all the rules and regulations and very, very detailed specifications of the ITIL framework, but we are adhering to the basic concepts, and we call it ITIL compliant, or ITIL light, perhaps you might call it, and we have a white paper on that, for instance. But the idea is that the concept is we're providing service improvements, service capabilities. We're trying to make service of, the whole goal here is service to the customers or service to the end users, and meeting certain goals and trying to provide the best service we can and resolve these tickets as quickly as possible, or in the most effective way. It doesn't necessarily have to be quick, but the most effective way as possible. And then learn as we go through this, through the data that's gathered and information that's gathered here, to what we call continuous service improvement, so that the service can be continuously improved. Now we're moving a little bit more into that third category of reporting. Reporting is an important component, and I'll go into that in a moment, of this program, because as we work the tickets, we don't want to just be managing the queue as sort of stenographers recording these events happen, but also we want to be analyzing and taken a look at what's going on and what is this telling us about our systems, what's this telling us about our users, what's this telling us about our procedures in our company, and how can we make this more efficient and operate in a much more effective way. And we call that CSI, or continuous service improvement. It's a very important part of our third component, the reporting and analytics aspect, is that now you're going another kind of dimension, another level, where you're saying, okay, we're looking at these tickets coming in, we're seeing what trends or what things are going on through our reporting, and then we're able to correct or modify and whatever needs to be done, whether it's upgrade some hardware or replace software or train people or whatever. And what's the other one? Correct an inefficient procedure, that kind of thing. So that's the goal. Ultimately, is to provide the immediately good service, but also to, I guess it's two goals really. One is to provide immediate service the best we can to the customers, employees, customers, and then also to circle back and do this continuous service improvement, so we're continually improving the what we can deliver, our service levels, and that's quite an interesting process. So we'll go into the report center in a moment. Let me check on a few other things, because I did mention the assets here. Now, asset integration is an extra module or additional component if you want with our help desk. We find many people get both together, and some people actually just get the asset management part and they want to manage assets. We have developed a very extensive, efficient asset management. We have an asset enterprise version, because we have so much over the past few years, so much demand for this kind of asset management program, and it totally makes sense, because if you're not managing your assets properly, you're losing money. I mean, let's face it, laptops walk out the door, things are replaced that don't need replacement, things are not maintained properly. So this works both for assets, IT assets. We also have an equipment module for regular kind of equipment like factory and stuff. I don't want to get too far from IT Help Desk. This is an IT Help Desk webinar. I just want to point out that the asset management can be a very important, a very good accessory to the IT Help Desk program, and they work very well in conjunction with each other. So we were just looking at, let me go over this ticket here. So if you click this asset, the HP LaserJet printer, you'll see information about this from the asset management system, which is over in the asset site. And that has a number of features in that asset site, such as contract renewal management, software license agreements, contract renewals. You can do barcoding, you can do many, many things with it. So I'll go right over here to the assets and we'll take a look at that. Let's look at a Dell Vostro, for example, and see what comes up with that. Oh, here it is. I already have it up. So here we go. So here's an asset, and what type of asset it is. Again, these are very highly configurable forms as to what you want to put on here. It's really up to you in terms of how you want these tabs to be and what fields on there. So I won't dig too deeply into the asset program. This is kind of a high level. We can always do one-on-one demos that focus specifically on this, but there's a lot of information gathered about each asset and what's related to it as far as IT tickets and all this. So it becomes an important part of the IT Help Desk system. Again, this works in SharePoint 2013 and Office 365. I'll make that point again. So let's go back to the where I was previously, which is all tickets, and here we are. So I did mention we would go over the reporting. Let me put that in here, Report Center. I have it up already. So here's the Report Center, one way to generate reports. You can have any number of reports lined up here and switch right to them. Click in here and you can see the report. And once the report is generated, it can be sent out. It can be scheduled to show, scheduled to be sent to a certain manager. A PDF, Excel, print it, email it, and you can do some real-time filters on this to get different stats. These are all drilled down where you can click it and it'll go right to those 10 calendar items or the 14 emails. And this chart is just one example of the many, many different types of reports that can be generated. We can do pie charts, donuts, columns, bars, tables, you name it, and they all come up looking, whatever style you decide to put it on. Columns, bars, lines, those kind of things, it will show up. Now, these are reports that stand alone here, but they also can be embedded on pages in the system itself. So if you go over here to one of these workspaces, like the manager workspace, you'll see that we already have reports put in here that were generated by the report center, but now we're putting them into a workspace. So the manager, this kind of the UI UX for the manager, is showing different reports and different information immediately to them so they can take action. So here's one that shows staff load, who has the most tickets and whatever. And this is open tickets by category and priority. And these all can be arranged to whatever is appropriate. We call it configurable workspaces, dashboards, and tickets by month. You can see trends sort of going on like that. So whatever a graph or a report looks appropriate and good, necessary, and provide the kind of information you need, you can present into these workspaces or into the report center itself. And we have that also in Office 365. Let's look at the Office 365 one. It's quite an interesting implementation here. We have this report center, and of course it looks a little different here because it's Office 365, but it's the same kind of capabilities and functionality showing here. So we have this reports coming up, and I guess there's not many open problems on this particular system right here, but we can do it, any kind of report you want here. And this also works on the asset program as well as the ticket, or any one of our programs all have these capabilities and functionality in it. So you can do that, and again, you can embed these on pages in the workspaces that you create for people to take a look at here. So we'll go back to the IT Help Desk. One other part of reporting is the tiles and dials. This is an interface where we're given a dashboard look where how many tickets are overdue, unassigned. These all can be configured if you want to see other stats here. For instance, when we do the contract renewal management program or the asset program, we put different, how many assets, or assets by status, or assets on, or contracts that need renewal are going to expire in the next 30 days. In this case, we're doing overdue tickets, unassigned tickets, open tickets. These kind of things are showing information in a very visual way. It's part of the kind of, now we're back in overlap between UI, UX, and reporting. We have dashboards, we have reports, we have those kind of things. So what we're trying to put together here is a comprehensive system that can support your needs for IT Help Desk, Support Desk on top of SharePoint or Office 365. We have developed it in both, underlying both systems, whether it's SharePoint 2013, web parts, a whole slew of web parts that provide this functionality, the forms, the workflow manager, the approval, the alerting, the reporting, on and on. There's a branding app. You can change the brand, what it looks like. We have some, new designs, the portal that's coming out. The portal I showed you earlier, and then the same thing in Office 365. Just elaborate a little bit on the portal, on the branding. Here's the same help desk done with a different branding through our branding app. And this is kind of interesting because we've taken the SharePoint 2013 and you can put different colors on here and different themes, you might say, and then we have a quick launch. This is the same quick launch, this good old quick launch, but now it's got this more modern design that influenced by Azure and Microsoft's way of presenting these things. It's called the modern quick launch. So there's a lot of interesting things we do like this to modify the interface, and we have this branding app that does that manages that, and you put a lot of custom themes on that. So this is one of the many underlying apps we have. If we look at the Crow Canyon Office 365 here, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, like 14 different apps that are running, to make this help desk do the performance that some of the features I was just showing you. So trying to show you a little bit under the covers what's going on, and the same idea with the SharePoint 2013. There's a large number of web parts that are performing the actions. These are all done by Crow Canyon. We support them, we develop them, and we build these applications. We don't rely on third-party programs, or third-party web parts, third-party apps. You can bring those in if you want and blend it with our program. Some you can. But these are, it's really a Crow Canyon built and supported application that we're doing here. And all our applications are relying on that same kind of basis to provide the services needed in the application itself. So given in a webinar like this, I always find it interesting because I go on and on. I don't know what questions people have and things like that. So what I'll do here is take a moment to go into some questions that may have come up in the webinar. Normally, we're having a one-on-one interaction, and I would strongly encourage anybody on this webinar to contact us directly, and we'll show you. Just we're happy to do it. It's no cost, of course, and just do a one-on-one webinar. Ask your questions directly. Can it do this? Can it do that? Challenge us a bit. Make us, say, can you really do this in Office 365 and SharePoint? And lo and behold, we have such a large amount of experience, like Jeff was saying, building applications and doing custom development, that most of the time we can do what is needed, build a web part or use an existing web part or configure our program using those web parts that we already have, our apps in Office 365, to perform that functionality that you need. Our goal is to provide better service, to provide you to have better service to your customers and end users and be a partner with you in that, and to help your organization run more efficiently, effectively, so you can provide better services, whether that's a membership or a government organization, so you can provide better service to whoever your members or citizens or whatever, or if you're a profit-oriented organization, then to help you increase efficiency and productivity and stay competitive in the marketplace. Now, Jeff, with that said, that whole spiel, how about any questions that came up? You want to jump in there and see if there's anything we can answer while we're on the webinar?
Yeah, so from a question standpoint, there's some questions out there. One is, how easy is it to customize the look and feel? I think you went through the branding app, but can it take on the corporate identity if they have like a CSS or some type of look and feel?
Absolutely. I know where you're going. Yeah, that's the idea with this branding app, is that you can create custom themes, and we'll work with you. We actually have a tool where you go in with our developer and you'll say, okay, I want the color to be this, I want it to be that. We generate the CSS, or maybe you already have CSS going already, and we could somehow work with you, and then that becomes a theme. You can just put the CSS file here, insert it here and upload the theme, and bada bing, you've got a new theme here, and that can be applied to the system, throughout the whole system, changing the quick launch or the colors or the logo or whatever you want to do here, such as this one. This one has a lot of changes to the base SharePoint 2013 things going on here in many respects. Okay, you can also change the logo, of course. You want to take other questions?
Another question is, someone had, as you went through the assets, someone had asked, is this easy to add in the future, and is there already an integration point with the assets and help desk?
Yes, exactly. Assets can be added later. It can be standalone. It can be IT Help Desk, or it can be together. There already are access points. For instance, that linked items tool, associated items component we have, can link back and forth. For instance, when you're doing a new ticket, you can actually decide, filter the asset list, and then select the asset right there. So a lot of interaction that can be there or not be there, depending on what you want and what you need. If you just want a help desk with no assets, well, that's okay too. If you want assets alone with just maybe tasks related to them, that's okay. Or you want the system together, that's good too. So I do see a quick question here about can employees receive automated emails of updates of their tickets? And absolutely, that's one of the alerting features. And I'm sorry if I didn't make that clear, but very much part of our program is communication and interaction between the staff and the end user. We want the end user to be aware of what's going on as much as you want them to be, and this could be through alerting. Anytime a ticket changes, send out an alert, send out an email really to them is what we're talking about. They can see it in their view my submitted tickets, they view their tickets, they can see it there. All kinds of automation like that can be applied in there. Jeff, you see some other questions? These are good questions, by the way. Thanks for putting them out there.
Yeah, so another question is, what's the install process, and how long does this take to set up?
The install process is a matter of putting in the Nitro layer, whether it's web parts or apps, through working with our team, and then after that usually takes an hour or two, and then after that it's working through the browser to configure it, and then the amount of time it takes depends on how much configuration from the base program is there. Some of our programs include 3 or 6 hours of professional services. More can be added on. But generally, it's pretty easy to get up and going, and part of it depends on what type of experience people have with SharePoint and Office 365. When you do an IT help desk, most people have some experience with SharePoint and Office 365, so they can run with it pretty quickly. If we're doing HR or facilities or other departments that are not as familiar with IT, SharePoint and Office 365 and working with configuration utilities, then we usually spend more time helping them and training them to get the program where they need it to be. Now, also the other thing, just to mention here, we integrate with a large number of programs. I mean, if people are using Nintex, we'll work right alongside Nintex. We have a number of customers who are doing that already. They use Nintex and our program. There's different ways they can integrate it. Also, somebody asked about Sccm, our asset program. We have developed our own specific integration tool with Sccm. Sccm, of course, is most people probably know, but in case you don't, it's an asset kind of configuration management system from Microsoft that does asset inventory, you might say, or network inventory. And so we can work with our asset management system, works with Sccm and Landsweeper and other network discovery tools, so that the real live data about the asset is in that database, and we synchronize with it and put the data that we need, such as who bought it, where it's used, what tickets it had, what maintenance is due, stuff that you don't get in Sccm or Landsweeper or those other programs. The two programs work very closely together to provide a really comprehensive view of the asset system that you have there. That really works well together, both, and we developed a unique synchronization interface with Sccm particularly, and with other such network discovery tools. You got a few other questions there, Jeff? Can you show how a ticket can be created from an Outlook email? Well, I could send in an email, and the way I can't really show, it's done by the system behind it. So, you see the email leave my Outlook, and the next thing you see a ticket in the system. I mean, that's pretty much all I see of it. So definitely it can be done, and it can include attachments and screenshots. So you create an email, whatever email client, could be even Yahoo, Gmail or something like that, or your corporate Outlook program. Send it in to the address, whether it's in your address book or you type in helpdesk@company.com or something, and then it becomes a ticket. And of course, when that's done, a number of activities through our email parsing take place, such as, is this part of an already existing incident or ticket going on with that? And if it is, we associated it. If it's not, we create a new one. And also we have spam filters and other things, and you can block certain domains. So there's a lot going on with that email conversion aspect of it. But, okay, what else? You got some other?
Last question I see here is, what about mobile devices? Is this mobile friendly?
Oh, yeah, geez. You guys are right on that. Let me show you something here. Where to go? There was a mobile. I was going to show the the responsive design of the portal, and if I missed that, we're totally into. Our portal is responsive in the sense it's span and contract, and it'll adapt to the mobile device. Very much mobile friendly. I can just find where that is. I think it's right here. This one. If I go here to the employee portal, okay. This is a different kind. This similar portal has different. Some reason it has New York City in the background, but whatever. As I expand and contract this, watch how it changes into the mobile. See, now it's a mobile friendly. That's responsive design. So that kind of thing goes on. It's kind of you could call it shown in this browser emulator. That's what emulator. That's the word I'm looking for. So it's kind of like an emulator here. As I shrink it, it's going to expand. So it's actually 3 different levels: smartphone, then tablet, then the full browser. So it's responsive design in that respect for sure. There. So yes, that's a very important consideration. And thanks for bringing that up. Let's go back here. Okay.
That's the last question I have here.
There's quite a few here. Yeah. Quite a few questions. All right, somebody's asking about SharePoint 2016 or what version of SharePoint. We can have We run on anything from Foundation on up. We have a version on 2010. Most of our work is on 2013 and 2016 and Office 365. And as far as the on-premises versions, anything that's from standard, Foundation, in 2013 was called Foundation. 2016, the base version there works also. Standard, I guess they still call it. Okay, good. Yes, mobile. Different portals and different workflows for different departments, absolutely. Portal available in other languages. You could modify the interface, put different wording in that would show the portal in the native language. Not the language you decide. It wouldn't determine it just by the person's, log. Well, I suppose if we did a custom project, you could say this person is logging in, so show it in Swedish, or show it in French, or show it in Spanish. Suppose that's kind of possible. Let's see, scanning assets into the list. Yeah, we do barcode scanning, works in it. So quite a number of questions there. Jeff, you see some more? I really like better having personal interactions in these webinars where, people don't talk, but it's okay.
Yeah,
Hopefully we'll get some people asking for demos. Anybody out there can ask for a one-on-one demo for sure, and get these questions answered directly.
Yeah.
Okay.
At this stage, there's no more questions, but
well, there's a lot of questions there, but I think we'll have to answer them by direct email to people and that kind of thing. People asking about a recording. Yes, we're going to have a recording available. Are you using SSRS for reporting, or are they custom written? All our reporting is custom tools we develop. People can use Power BI, they can use SSRS if they want to, but our report center is completely developed by us, both on SharePoint on-premises and Office 365. Okay, the knowledge base, someone's asking about the knowledge base. I can show in the portal, search knowledge base articles. There's a search of that, and it shows a frequently used, highly related articles by category. We also have a service catalog too. It's not in this demo, but there's a service catalog that we're putting in the portal also. Kind of, okay. What level of expertise is required to update the forms and workflows as per organization needs? Well, not that much. You can go here, Workflow Manager, and do that, or you can go into the list itself. Let me go into Application Administration, and then you configure tickets. And in our tabs and tab settings, you can come here and decide what tabs you want, what the name is, and what's on that tab is decided right here very easily. You can easily change the form by modifying. So I'm on the Employee tab of the ticket, and this is the order. The fields are there in the order they're in. Easy to remove one, change the order, or add new ones right there, as well as set permissions on the tabs, create a new tab, have the tab only show for certain people at certain times. Not hard at all to do once you get familiar with this tool. And alerting and workflow are similar kind of functionality, and of course will help get you going on that. We have manuals and everything to show that. Where's data being saved? It's in the SharePoint databases. Yep, that's right. The recording, case ID to add something to the ID number. Yeah, the ID can be designated, such as 2017 ticket 1 or something. ITIL definition. Oh, that person left, so we'll have to talk to him probably more directly. Okay. I'm seeing, let's see, scanning in, Foundation. All right, I think we got a lot of questions here, a lot of interest. Again, I think coming up on the hour. Jeff, you want to show you know what? I'll show the contact slide. I have it here. Here we go. There we go. So as you can see, there's a number of ways to stay in touch with Crow Canyon. Through Twitter, we have a pretty active Twitter account. Probably not as active as Donald Trump's, but but we do have a Twitter account where we post some stuff. LinkedIn, you can always follow us on LinkedIn. We have a blog. The blog has new articles almost every week. Quite interesting stuff on IT help desk and contract. Any IT related subject or SharePoint, Office 365, sales. Give us or call. Email or call. And we're coming up to some events. In fact, there's a SharePoint Saturday in Utah, Salt Lake City, Austin, There's SharePoint TechCon, SharePoint Fest in DC. We're also going to Omaha, SharePoint Saturday. We're going to Minneapolis, Twin Cities. We're going to Denver at the end of the month. There's this other events that are, calendar still being determined, but we're at a lot of these, and really would hope to meet people and ask questions in person if possible at one of these events. It's always fun to interact with the people directly, everybody, people directly. Jeff, do you have some comments at the end?
No, I think that we, from a sales perspective, on the sales team, we'd love to hear from you. We do these demos every day, all day, and we can each demo is a little bit different. It's catered to what you guys are looking for and what your environment's like. So we can go in and address, kind of do a deeper dive and address how your business works and how our service desk, our help desk can fit the requirements. So I would encourage you to reach out to us. We can get something on the calendar. We can do something as quick as 20 minutes. A lot of the demos actually will be really engaging and last an hour, but it's really up to you. But reach out to us directly, either through our 800 number or the email address, and we'd love
to. 925. There's a 925 number on the slide.
Yep.
Yeah, and also I see there's a bunch of questions that we didn't have time for, but we'll be sure to answer everybody that asked a question individually through email, and hopefully that will be sure to take. It might take us like the rest of the day or tomorrow to get to everything, but we'll be sure to make an effort, and then should have the recording available by tomorrow or whatever, probably by end of the day tomorrow, if not before, and send it out to everyone. Okay. I think we're good, Jeff, right? I want to thank again everyone for joining. We hope to hear from you again and further delve into either IT Help Desk, Asset Management, or other of our applications, and maybe see you at a show or whatever. So thank you again for joining, and have a good rest of the day.